Moving, loading up. We actually got to see Crazymoving a little bit earlier on today versus the Terran, and he just missed a lot of timings, basically. He messed up a little bit, little itty-bitty mistakes that really cost him pretty badly.
Very eager, I think would be a great word to describe how Crazymoving's play has been today, guys. He's going to be facing off against Thorzain. Hopefully going to be a pretty good match for us here. Zerg versus Terran, always an extremely exciting match. Unfortunately, Thorzain has left the game, so we'll get back into that as quickly as possible. But that gives us a moment here to discuss how we think this series might go.
Yeah, I actually want to pull up the pool play really quick. Both players are currently 1-3 at the moment in pool play. Just kind of actually at the bottom of Pool A right now, with Marine King being 5-0, Gonzi 3-2, MC 2-3, and Sase 2-3 as well. A win would be a little bit helpful here. I don't really think they have a chance of actually getting in the top 2 at the moment yet now. But I think they can get 3rd or 4th place. It's pretty respectable. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see how exactly Thorzain does. I actually have not the pleasure of casting his games. I'm always told by Mouse Calars, the caster, how amazing Thorzain is and how much he loves him because he does that mouse trap casting on the side. So I'm really excited to watch Thorzain. It's my first time actually being able to cast him. I just know of him as a Spoon Terran player, loves to slowly dissect his players and tear them apart. So we'll go ahead and get set up here. TVZ now loading up. Hopefully we won't have a drop play again.
Yeah, apparently Thorzain accidentally misclicking by accident and exiting the game, unfortunately.
Oh, dear.
Now we're getting ourselves back into it. It's going to be a best of 3, starting off on Daybreak.
Well, here we go, loading on up in the bottom left corner. It's going to be our red Terran player from Team Mouse. It's going to be a Mouse Thorzain. In the very, very, very far top right corner, it's going to be Infinity 7's Crazymoving. Unfortunately, has not been very, very lucky in terms of getting a very winning record in the pool play, currently 1-3. But we'll see how well he does. Again, we watched him against Gonzi early on. Gate number 1 on dual site. It seems he just didn't have vision of the amount of units that he was going to engage. Ran all of his links into the units, and then, of course, just lost the game from there. And then game 2, of course, he's got outplayed, actually, by Gonzi. So hopefully he can redeem his TVZ playstyle here and this matchup on Daybreak.
Yeah, you know, Crazymoving, I think this is very befitting of the level of play in which he currently resides. We've got, for example, you know, he's a Code A player if we were to look at the GSL. He's not Code S. He was Code A, and, you know, against players like Thorzain and all the other top names that we have here at MLG. You know, he was able to dominate his way through a lot of the initial bracket, but now getting into these later stages with these very, very strong players here in the pool play, we are finding that Crazymoving is having a little bit tougher of a time.
I'm interested in what we're going to see from Thorzain. Rax has now been falling down. It seems to be, oh, he's actually building that next to his command center. Very intriguing here. And actually has his first Marine rally to the natural. Huh, very, very interesting here. Maybe you just want to go ahead and have really optimize his mining time, having the SCV go straight to the mineral line there from there and then follow up with the command center. It looks like he's built there, but I really feel like the wall line's a little bit better.
15 hatch going down for Crazymoving. We'll see when he opts to throw down the follow-up pool if he decides to go for gas first. One of the things that we have been seeing from our Zerg players, but not too much from Crazymoving, is the gasless play. It's becoming ever more popular as we do see that more and more Terrans are going for these reactor Hellion openings. I mean, it took a little bit for Zerg to adapt, but we're seeing a lot of them go speedless now. Instead, getting 4 queens, a spine crawler, really ramping up that economy, and ultimately getting the speed a little bit later, but having just a bit stronger economy and sacrificing that map control that they wouldn't have anyways.
Well, looking over to Thorzain, and it looks like he has finally updated us on what he's planning to go for. Do have the rack straight into a gas, and now we'll be floating his racks, it looks like, up to the northern location. You know what, it actually kind of works out for him. I think he gets that Marine out right away. He can really deny any drone scout anyways once the Marine does pop out. So, interesting choice there. Now following with the command center, so.
Yeah, pretty much always what we see when a player puts only 2 of their workers onto gas is the reactor here. What's different about this is a cool adaptation that we're seeing from Thorzain, where he seems to be influenced a bit by Boxer. Boxer's a player who will actually hesitate to throw down his factory in a reactor Hellion expand until he throws down, or excuse me, not the factory. Actually, yeah, no, it is. The factory, he throws down the command center beforehand. Yeah. And what we're seeing here out of Thorzain is just slightly different. He's using 2 on gas. It's a really cool alternative as opposed to the slightly later gas that we've seen previously out of Boxer.
Nice build here. So it's delaying that Reactor Hellion a tad bit. We've seen a lot of players actually been doing that today in general, just delaying their Reactor Hellions, but he's doing it in a bit of a different fashion, and that's what Kibble's trying to point out there. There's different ways to get to the same goal with different build orders, and Thorzain really showing that here. Well, we have the first Overlord on the way, coming from the bottom right corner, going to be making its way to the bottom left. Going to have his Overlord in the position to get a scout on if need be. Get an IDF command center will be going up. Notice Crazymoving actually hasn't sent any lings on the field here, actually.
None whatsoever.
He just droned. Didn't even care for scouting whatsoever. Just going to allow Thorzain to walk up to him with anything he decides to build on his side of the map. So very interesting that Crazymoving elected not to go ahead and go for an expansion. Or I'm sorry, not to go for any drone scout whatsoever.
Moving out across the left-hand side of the map is this Overlord. Wants to find this command center and should be able to, but the real question is he going to come in and spot that there is a second command center here? In fact, the timing could tell Crazymoving enough, but you know what? At the exact same time, this command center flying down from the top. Oh, this is going to be
barely misses.
Close for Crazymoving, but it does appear that this Overlord is actually going to only see this one. Now, what I was pointing out earlier is the timing here is very awkward. This is not a timing you see for command centers with one-base builds. It's too early for a medevac style of play. It's too late for like a 1-Rax or even a 3-Rax expand. This is a pretty awkward command center. It should make him a little bit suspicious, but he's really going to have to spell what's going on.
Well, he scouted it. He had a ling actually run through to the natural and does see the command center. So now he's aware there is 3 potential orbitals on the map as this third one is about to finish up. So the question is, what is he going to go ahead and switch into here? He's actually throwing a spine crawler down at home. Seems to be a little bit afraid of the reactor Hellions that could be out pretty soon as well. Is he going to go ahead and elect to grab a third? We see him now grabbing a gas. He has one at his main, 2 at his main, and now the third one at his natural. Throwing down an evolution chamber as well, so he might gear up for a pretty heavy push, which he's going to have to do in the next couple of minutes. He does not want that command center to pay for itself before too long.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Link's running
3 gases right now, looking at the natural expansion. We do see a couple of links coming in here. Hellions in position, though, and along with these SCVs, should be able to kite pretty effectively. The Mules actually can just go back to work here for Thorzain. They don't really provide too much help whatsoever with their complete lack of an attack, but yeah, Thorzain really taking those out quite far, but wanted to make sure, I guess, none of them were killed off by the links. Well, Link's going to go straight to the main, but supply depots are up, so they will finally be killed off there. Let's see if any workers have been killed if we want to hit control really quick. Oh, no, nothing. So some nice control there for Thorzain. Did miss out on mining time, but overall saves his SCV, so he's pretty good to go. Checking over into Crazymoving. Lair on the way. 4th gas now being grabbed. Drone heading down to go ahead and expand at the moment. Not going to be happy with the amount of links through there. There's a lot of drones that he could have potentially just thrown away for literally no damage. I think he killed a Hellion or 2. Well, he did prevent a lot of mining time, and if you look, it was 400 minerals that he lost. Those mules probably lost maybe half their life even, if we say. A little less than half, perhaps, so about 100 minerals each per those mules. Overall, I'd say it's fairly even for Crazymoving, but he did miss out on drones for those links that he opted to make there, so definitely something also worth noting. Now, Thorzain holding map control with these Hellions sitting at the Zelnaga Tower, 3rd on the way for Crazymoving, currently about halfway done. We saw him start up those 3 gases, Robin. What's he doing with all that all that Vespine? Well, he's really going to start taking up at the moment. He's going straight into Roach, it looks like, getting Roach speed, level 1. Carapace, and look at this, a Nidus can now being thrown down as well. And I believe, actually, we have Mech coming out for Thorzain, so this could potentially be really good. If he gets great Nidus placements all over the map here, he can really just harass Thorzain so darn much, especially since Thorzain's actually going for this third a little bit earlier than you would, moving up to the top left corner with going for mech play, because you kind of spread yourself out when that happens. So this could be potentially really cool here. Yeah, I'm wondering exactly where Crazymoving's going to drop, but the best position would obviously be in the top left right here. It's actually completely uncovered, so there's no way that he would be able to see it. Right now, Thorzain dancing around a little bit with these Hellions, trying to find a crack in the defenses of Crazymoving, but the reality is, Robin, right now there is none. Nidus network has completed, and look at this, moving the Overseer up, but he actually built it in a position where it can be scouted, and that was a little bit irresponsible of him, because Crazymoving could have come in with this Overseer and seen this barracks. Yeah, without the barracks seeing his Overseer. Well, looks like that Nidus Canal is going to be held off, and Thorzain kind of scoffs at it. Nidus on my base, no way, Jose. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and potentially maybe do one down here in the bottom left corner. Yes, trying again, but Thor cleans that up. And here's the thing, once the Nidus is found first,
from there, your opponent becomes very, very active in looking for any type of Nidus canal play. He's even trying again once in the top right corner. Oh, he doesn't see this one. It looks like Crazymoving has found his spot.
Yeah, this is the spot he's been needing to use the entire time, but as you said, less effective as they happen more and more. Also, two more siege tanks have arrived in the duration of all this time. Now, the Lynx and Roaches are streaming in right now, and the siege tanks out of position. Looks like Crazymoving going to manage to take out both of these tanks. The Thor trying to do what it can, but honestly, Lynx here supplementing the damage that these Roaches do offer, and SCV is going to come off the line. They're going to have to immediately repair. Don't get it done in time. One more Thor and siege tank do remain here. The splash damage doing a ton to these Roaches, but the SCVs as well. Full surround. No, cannot get it on the Thor, and everything falls here for Thorzain. Almost no units remaining. Do we see reinforcements streaming in through this Nidus? Robin, Thorzain is going to have to GG.
So smart from Crazymoving. I don't know if you saw it there, but when he actually engaged on that ramp, he had his 4 or 5 roaches that he had take one hit on the siege tank, and then they moved to another siege tank and had the lanes clean the rest of his siege tanks up. So effectively, he took out 2 with 2 volleys of his roaches. That was actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
And really, really clever there. And overall, using 3 Niduses. Normally, if I miss my first Nidus, I won't do it because I know my opponent's ready for it. But he kept up with this game plan, and it worked out for him there. So really cool play there from Crazymoving, and a little bit of a lack of vision there from Thorzain. You want to kind of try to have your buildings all nice and spread out. That way you can see the edges of your main, and he only had one spot.
Even after the Nidus was revealed, he did not find... I mean, it was very easy for us, for example, to take a look at the vision that he had allotted to him on his map and see where his vulnerable points were. And he didn't choose to do that. We saw a supply depot drop, but it was dropped too low, Robin.
Yeah. Wow, so Crazymoving taking game 1 from Thorzain, and I imagine Thorzain's going to be a little more careful this game.
Yeah.
It was very, very greedy type of play, but he didn't lose it from being greedy. He lost from lack of awareness in that one little spot. That's it. I feel like you go for the same play and still be okay. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for game number 2. I'm going to go ahead and give Crazymoving the score on the overlay. Should we get to go?
Thorzain Robin going to be... do you think he's going to play as greedy? You know, that's one of the things he's probably going to be kicking himself for.